Tom Sherman on the drive.
What's up?
Tom, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you think you've gotten a lot faster now that you moved to Florida?
Oh, that's a good question. Definitely get a race against higher caliber driver. I've just been working so much, I don't get a lot of time to actually get out and club race and race on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
But the last couple of weeks, I've been able to get out and run about 4 times in the last 2 weeks. And I know the last time I ran, I felt like I was driving a lot better. A lot of that was knowing that track a lot better, but it doesn't matter where you're at in the country, the more track time you get, the faster you're getting.
But do you think you could have gotten that quick in Atlanta versus Florida?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was so close to Hobbytown.
Right.
We were an hour away. We were going there at least once a week.
Right.
Minimum. Sometimes 3 times a week. Just practicing, running laps, trying some different setups, that sort of stuff.
Right.
But the caliber of drivers, I mean, we got Chris Van Air up there, but, trying to get him, he's super busy. So, it's hard for him to come out on a club race night. He had Sean Hardy, who was running the track. It was kind of hard to get him racing at a club race because he's trying to run the race. Craig Jackson was there. He's a relatively fast guy there.
Right.
He can definitely put the screws to you when he's on his game.
Right.
I think just the caliber of drivers down here in Florida, if you know where they're going to race and you can race with them, it's definitely making you faster. Kind of right now, 10 scale, you got Kai Goff down here, Kyle Paquette, Aaron and Anthony. I don't know their last name, but one drives, and I think it's Anthony drives X-Ray, Aaron drives the new V7. They're 2 brothers. Super fast, both of them. They're both fast. They know how to set up the cars. They'd be really good. AJ, if he gets out and runs,
right.
Dustin Splone, when he has time to race, you got a pretty good dirt contingency of fast guys. And if you want to run carpet, there's a lot of fast guys. TJ Bradley's over there. Daniel Chavez is over at Go running on the carpet.
But they're all in their own little pockets.
2 super fast guys.
They're all in their own little pockets, though.
Yeah, they're, everybody kind of stays close to home.
Tracks are not that far from each other.
And it's understandable, especially Coco's on the East Coast, and then you have NewReds that's in Ocala, so, I mean, probably at least 2-hour drive.
Right.
SS, everything, all the tracks are probably anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half apart, 2 hours apart. So it kind of, to get a good club race, somebody's driving and somebody's getting home late, especially if it's at night.
Right.
Or a weekday race. The new track in Wesley Chapel, that'll probably be 40 minutes from SS, and I would say 50 minutes from NewReds. Probably 2.5 hours to Coco from that place. So,
do you think you've learned more about car setup being there versus Atlanta?
That's a good question. I mean, I learned a lot in Atlanta just because we were growing, we were learning a lot.
Right.
There was a lot of trial and error. What I learned most here is that fine tuning of the setup. So we had that Florida 10 scale championship series start. And the first round was at NewReds. And I had my car okay in the right adjustments. It was getting faster.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still a little bit loose in the corners. And, you know, I was talking to Kai Golf, and he's like, man, your car's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, let me look at your car.
Right.
So there was, you know, just a few fine-tuned adjustments that I probably would have got there, but it would have taken me longer. Yeah, I probably would have had to run max to get my car to where it was to the speed of Kai's car.
Right.
So, yeah, I think it's learning more about taking the car to the next level of setup.
Right.
So don't stop and be satisfied, and don't adjust your driving for your car, but keep adjusting your car to your driving style. And I think I'm learning that more here than I would have in Florida, in Georgia.
Yeah. Are the drivers there, you think, more welcoming, or are they about the same? Like, welcome you in, like, hey, come on, show you some stuff. Or they kind of in their clique?
No, I think places are pretty good. You know, one state ain't really different than the other. Everybody's in the South.
Right.
I really haven't been to too many tracks where you're the outsider and they're not going to give you any information.
Right. Right.
There's always somebody at the track that's willing to share some information.
Right.
And you find those guys pretty quickly. I mean, if you're observing in the pits and you watch who's talking to who and how they're interacting with each other, you know that, hey, I can go talk to that guy, or,
right.
Yeah, that guy ain't going to tell me squat.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, or that person is socially awkward and doesn't know how to explain anything unless by text message back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of those.
But overall, I mean, I've been down here 3 years, and it doesn't matter where you go in Florida, you know people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from big races to club racing. You know, there's friends at every track that you go to. I mean, you know people all over the scene racing for a while.
Right.
And then even leaving the state, going somewhere else in the country,
Mm-hmm.
somebody knows you, or you know somebody.
Right.
Or you may know them, you may know their face, but you can't remember their name. And that's more my case because I'm old.
How cool is it to have your sponsors close by?
That is really awesome. I probably don't take advantage of that nearly as much as I should.
Right.
And I don't mean taking advantage of that for product or anything like that, but just taking advantage of building that relationship a little better with them.
Right.
You know, Exalt, I know I can walk into Exalt pretty much any day, and, you know, I can have or AJ, you know, get information, get some questions answered, or just sit around and shoot the bull for a few minutes.
Right.
They're super busy, so they don't have a lot of time to chat, but I stopped in there a couple of weeks ago, you know, and talked to Kevin for probably a half hour.
Right.
You know, he ended up showing me some stuff on the motors,
Mm-hmm.
tuning the motor and stuff a little better, and, you know, just kind of gave me an insider view of how he tunes the motors for sale. You know, these specialized, the high-end motor, the process he goes through to make sure they're running at peak performance before he ships them out. It was pretty impressive. I was
Right.
amazed at how much time he spends on each motor before he boxes it up and puts it on the shelf, getting ready to ship.
I was gonna say the other cool thing is you got Eric Everett close by if you need a body.
tomorrow to get painted for nationals. So
Yeah. So,
I'm in the queue. I just got to get in my bodies.
yeah. So you got all that close by.
Yeah, I mean, plus I got, Jconcepts. They're in Groveland, and it's only it takes me about 55 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
And it's nice because, I mean, Tyler Hooks is over there. Paul Wynn is usually there. Jason's there sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I only see him sometimes. I'm sure he's there all the time, and I only see him sometimes.
Right.
But when they're there and I get to see them, if I'm picking up an order, they're always willing to chit-chat for a few minutes, because they're super busy too. But
Mm-hmm.
I remember there's one time Jason was there, and we had a good conversation about short course tires and what we're doing for our short courses to make them better.
Right.
What we're doing to our tires to make them better for the short course, and that led to some other products that we got. Tyler's always good, to bounce tread patterns off of or whatever to see what for different tracks, because he travels a lot to other tracks, so he can work with her. So,
Yeah. So
always good to bounce the questions off of Tyler.
So you've been to Hoosiers, right?
Yeah.
Do you think you get even faster going to Hoosier, or if that was your local scene, or you think it's about the same as like Florida?
I don't know. I mean, they got super fast locals, and they got Talon Henley up there, super fast.
Yeah.
And I think you get some of my X-ray teammates come over. They're not that far away.
Yeah.
So you would definitely get faster at that track.
5 hours away from like dirt burners, 5 hours away from trackside.
Yeah, I don't know what the distances are, but
Yeah.
if you could live between that, if you could live somewhere in the middle of those tracks, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Dakota and Sontag is up in close to like dirt burners.
Right.
And then you got Aiden Horn and the Horn family. They're somewhere up in Michigan somewhere. But they're close by from what I've kind of gathered.
I mean, you imagine just going and being able to run with Alan and Aiden.
I know, right?
I mean, Alan's funny. He's a super cool dude. I think he'd just be fun to hang out with and turn some laps,
Yeah.
I mean, there's some really fast guys down here that, if I can get it coordinated to where we're at the same place and we can get on the track together, I mean, it would spend 10 or 12 packs just chasing, trying to keep up with them and just chasing them. It would definitely make you faster. You definitely change your driving style, I guarantee it. Because really, Justin and I used to do that all the time. When we had that track in Peachtree City.
Mm-hmm.
I would just chase him and he would chase me.
Right.
Just pushed each other to go faster and faster, between the two of us. And definitely picked up our speed, definitely got better at driving, mainly because we didn't want to go out and we didn't want to wreck and have to get off the driver's stand and go corner marshal our cars. So
Right.
definitely learned to drive a little better.
Yeah, that's another thing is orchestrating that to where everybody's kind of at a track. Like, so at Speed, when we had Speed RC here in Mooresville, I would just announce, hey, I'm going to practice on Tuesday, or I'm going to practice on Thursday. And slowly but surely, so people started showing up when I was there practicing. People that watch the channel, and other drivers. So it was almost to the point that was like the fast guys were there practicing with me. And that's what I would do, just throw a car out and try to hang corners with them, It was orchestrating that. So it's kind of like people didn't want to come practice and work on their stuff, but they wanted to race,
I enjoy going to the track, running paddocks, trying different things on the car, see what makes it better, makes it worse. I enjoy those test and tune days.
Right.
But I don't enjoy it by myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'd much rather have 4 or 5, 6 guys there, doing the same thing. Doesn't have to be the same car brands or anything like that, but you just push each other and help each other get a little bit better, maybe with setup or driving tips.
Mm-hmm.
People are definitely going to get faster.
So why you think it's so hard on this side to orchestrate people coming together and working like that? Like, come practice, and then when you look at tracks where there's really fast people at, they have no problem getting people to come practice. You know what I mean? Like, practice together.
So you got to look at, first off, life gets in the way of everything.
True.
So it's hard to get everybody together or get a group of guys together. It's hard.
Right.
To do that. Just because, a lot of guys are married, they have, their family at home, they might have kids at home.
Yeah.
Young kids, I'm not talking 12, 13, I'm talking about,
yeah, young families.
Toddlers.
Yeah.
It's hard to get away and do that. I remember when Justin was little, he's 5 and 4 and 5. I was taking him to the track with me, and he'd play with his Hot Wheels in the dirt, and I'd run bags.
Right.
That sort of thing. But there's so much going on, in people's lives. It's hard to do that. But now, where you see some of these tracks that are, you got a lot of fast guys out of one track.
Yeah.
It's not fast guys with families.
True.
It's
true.
People that are single, maybe still limited homes. These 14 to 18-year-old kids that are just stupid fast.
Yeah.
And they can live at the track.
Right.
They can be a track rat.
Right. Yeah, we had over
a lot of us. A lot too is the expense of it.
Mm-hmm.
So if your track is hard, it gets pretty pricey going out and trying to run, trying to practice, and hell, you might burn through 2 or 3 sets of tires.
Mm-hmm.
If you spend the day at a track, you might eat up 2 or 3 sets of tires, depending on how abrasive the track is,
right,
and how harsh your traction compound is.
Right.
So that's part of it too. That you and Thomas had that conversation about batteries, and
mm-hmm.
every time you go out, that's one cycle off your battery life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how much do you want to? Do you keep last year's packs for practice and keep your new packs for racing? That's something to consider too. I think just the cost of going out and practicing like that it's a lot more than it used to be.
Right. track fees.
Yeah, I'm not. Tracks are pretty good about practice fees. I mean, I've been to some tracks, it's $10 for the day. Some places it's $20 for the day.
Right.
And where else are you gonna go for a $10 or $20 fee to do what you enjoy doing? That part is pretty inexpensive.
Right.
It's just the tires. The tires can get expensive depending on what your track surface is like.
Right. Yeah, I think I used to always practice with some clapped out tires. I know they would say practice how you race.
Right.
Well, I couldn't. And I couldn't afford to practice.
So that's
how to race.
Yeah. So that's a whole other topic.
Mm-hmm.
How to go out and practice, because as your tires wear out, you might have to change your setup. So if you're out there on worn out damn tires and you're setting your car up for those worn out tires, when you go to a race and you come to a race club night or whatever, you put on some freshies and your car doesn't handle anything like you practice.
Right.
So you just kind of, all that time you spent working on your car and everything is out the window. Hey, if you practice like you race, does that mean while you're practicing you get to yell at corner marshals too?
Yeah. Well, Scott Speed, the owner of Speed RC, came up and he taught me. To this day, it's like I take it home, and it's like something that I always remember. And it goes across all forms of racing, all genres of racing. As Scott Speed said, there's no substitute for racing. And it's just like,
oh yeah,
wow.
That
I mean, he blew me away with that. He raced rally cars. I think he tried Formula One, NASCAR, and all these different types of racing. And he blew me away with that quote,
No, he he has the experience. He knows.
Mm-hmm.
But if it had wheels, he'd probably raced it in some form or another.
Right.
But it's true. I mean, it's even. It's true across just about any sport.
Yeah.
You can practice all you want, but until you're out there actually racing and you have the pressure of racing or the pressure of playing your sport, it's not the same as practice.
Right. So.
Yeah, because I can go to BeachLine on the carpet and I practice, but I am terrible at racing on carpet.
Right.
But I can practice on carpet great. I can turn some great laps. But you put in a race situation on carpet, I don't know what it is. It's hard for me.
Right. So, what happened with me was I was practicing all that, and I got good at qualifying. Like still to this day, I could qualify, my butt off, but when it comes to actual racing, I can't race. When you
think about qualifying, it's almost like a practice run.
Right.
That you're not trying to beat anybody in qualifying.
Right.
So you can go out there and you're just relaxed and you go out there and just racing the clock.
Right.
I don't know. I've always felt like I don't normally qualify all that well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I race better than I qualify 90% of the time.
Right.
And it seems like it should be the other way around. But maybe the actual race more than you are in qualifying. I don't know what it is with me, but there'd be times, I'll qualify 4th, 5th, or even 10th in a main, and I already know going in I'm going to move up because I know I race better than I qualify. So unless something weird happens, if I'm starting 10th, I'm going to move up to at least 8.
Speaking of
you get that shaky leg racing?
You know what's crazy is I hardly get that. The shaky leg.
Right.
What I get is I crash 2 or 3 times and my motivation is gone. Next thing you know, I find myself moving over for people because I'm thinking they're lapping me.
Yeah, we need to send you to a sports psychologist.
Yeah.
I get it bad sometimes, especially if it's pressure that I put on myself. If there's a class that I'm running, or if I'm running with a group of people that I know I should beat or I think I should beat, and I'm falling behind or something, that pressure creeps in, and that leg gets to go into town. And
yeah.
I think it was, I want to say it was SS Hobbies. Ronnie Setzer's track. We were running a race there. I think it was Ronnie's. I might be wrong. I can't remember where I was at for sure. But I was shaking so bad, it was moving the driver's stand. I'm not kidding. I'm up there. I'm dancing around on the driver's stand trying to get my leg to stop shaking. And the guy beside me is just laughing. And he's like, "You're moving the whole stand, dude." And I'm like, "I'm sorry."
I get a little excited.
Yeah. I thought I was imitating Elvis or something up there. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll get nervous even in club races, and not nearly as bad, but like when we went to the Clash up there, I don't think I had any issues getting nervous or racing up at the Clash. It was just, I knew the cars were good, and the cars are way better than my talent level. I can tell you that.
Right. Speaking of cars and sharing info, right? Jeff Stackowitz just posted his XB2 24 car setup and XB4 24 car setup on Facebook here.
Right.
He posted his whole setup sheet. I don't see that from other teams or other drivers. Sometimes
we get it out of
Schumacher does.
Maybe they're sharing.
Yeah, I'll share.
Maybe they're sharing on their team sites.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of. I see Jeff doing that. Mark Sosa just shared his information.
Yeah.
On Facebook, I saw that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of X-ray guys post their setup sheets online.
Yeah.
For everybody to see. It's no secret. Why hide the information? You're trying to, at least with the majority of our team is, we're trying to get everybody faster.
Right.
And that, I talked to Gavin Bassini yesterday, and X-ray driver. I'm asking him some questions on Stadium Truck, and he trying to get some information, and that was a conversation we had about sharing the information just to make not only our teammates faster, but anybody that's driving the product, right? So Joe Blow goes out and buys an X-ray,
Right.
you know, and he's like, well, hell, I'm not real sure how to set this up for this track. I guarantee you there's somebody who has posted an X-ray setup for that track.
Right. Right.
You know, somewhere on an X-ray page, or one of the drivers has posted a setup on it.
Like Associated, I have to go to like Dustin Evans. He's good at doing that.
Yeah.
You know, Schumacher, Brock is good at posting his setup. So I do share like that. But as far as like other drivers, man, it's like hardly any kind of, you know. And
Yeah,
it's another thing. It's not, you know, yeah, post your setup to get somebody in the ballpark, but I mean, you know, I guess some people think if they post a setup, they're giving away their secrets.
What people don't realize is, or a lot of people don't realize, I think a lot of the people that race a lot realize this, but yeah, you're going to give somebody your setup and it's going to get them in the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
But chances of them being able to, you know, is not realistic.
Right.
You got to set the car up to the way you drive.
Right.
I think kind of case in point, trying to think where it was. I think it was Nationals at Mimi's a few years ago. Dakota wasn't running his mod short course.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he let Mike Sontag drive his mod short course in that class.
Right.
And I remember talking to Mike, because Mike looked terrible. I mean, he was terrible at the first day, I think maybe the first round of qualifying. I'm like, Mike, I mean, you're driving Dakota's truck. How is it that bad? And he says, I cannot drive that setup that Dakota has on that truck. There's no way I can drive that car.
Right.
So he spent a lot of time, you know, adjusting that truck to fit his driving style. It's like, I don't know how anybody can drive this.
Right. Hey, Tom.
Yes, sir.
My battery's about to die in my camera here. We've been talking for like 38 minutes.
All right. Well, I'm only about 10 miles away from my exit, so
when you headed back,
I'll jump off here. I'll be heading back around 2:00 this afternoon.
Okay, I'll be. Yeah, we need to finish this. This is a good topic.
Yeah, we can edit some stuff into it.
Okay. Well, hey, hit me up later. I'll hit you up later on.
All right, sounds good.
All right, bye.